Alright, so today we are going to draw some of Santa's elves. You will need a pencil, a sharpener in case your pencil gets dull, a marker to trace the outline, and either crayons or colored pencils. Now, first we're gonna just start off with some stick figures. These stick figures will help us to figure out where different parts of the elf's body will go. Try to proportion it correctly. So you'll just draw a stick figure like so, and I'm just gonna draw it with its legs straight down, and that'll help us position our legs better later. And the two arms, I'm gonna make one kind of positioned with it on her hip, and then the other one saying hi with it up in the air. And I'll draw circles where I know the hands and feet will go. So that's going to be our girl elf. Now moving over to our boy elf over here, I'll do the same thing. Draw a circle for the head. Draw his stick body. And I'm going to have him standing similar to the girl elf. And I'm gonna make his left arm kind of leaning, and then we're gonna draw a present later that he's leaning on. And then another hand on the hip, like he's just lazily leaning up against this present. And then again, I'll put circles where I know the feet are gonna go. Now all this is drawn really lightly, so make sure you're not pressing too hard on your pencil, because we're gonna erase these lines later. Now, starting with the girl, going in with the head and just darkening that circle, we're gonna add one line up from the side, and then a little bit down we're gonna make a swoop line for her elf ear, and the same thing on the other side, just a short line off the head kind of towards the center, and we'll go down and swoop up to meet at the top. Now I'm going to give her bangs, so I'll do a half circle from the top of her ear that we just drew on both sides. Give her some bangs, and then from the middle of those two swoops, draw a line up and do a big swoop around her ear and down. And then at the end we're going to make a little curl. Like that. And the same thing for the other side. Draw from that center line, Do a big swoop around her ear and in towards her face, and then the little curl at the end, and bring it back around to her face. Now I'm adding a headband above her bangs, and then I'll erase that little line in the center. So she has a headband. Now to position her face, we're going towards the center of that circle and do a long U shape for her nose. And to position the eye, we kind of draw a light line up from her nose and find a spot to draw 2 ovals for her eyes. Now I don't like the way I drew these, so eventually I'll go back and fix them. Now, when you draw the mouth, you want the 2 corners to meet up where the center of the pupil of the eye will be. So when you draw your smile, just do an imaginary line down from their eyes and make a smile. This is where I go in and fix the eyes a little, because I didn't really like them that much. So if you have anything you need to fix right now, you can go ahead and erase and fix it quick. Alright, and now we'll add her neck, just 2 lines down from where you have her head, and a half circle at the end of that. And now we will draw her shoulders. You just kind of see where that stick figure line is, and that's where her arm would be. I'm gonna make her sleeves poofy, so I'm doing a half circle and then adding some little lace type stuff at the end, just little half bubbles at the end of her sleeve. And the same thing for the other side. But it's going to be drawn a little bit differently because her arm, if you look at the stick figure we drew, it goes down and then up. So the sleeve would be a little bit different direction. So I'm going to start at the bottom and do the poof and then mirror that on the other side. And then do little poofy lace at the end. Now she's going to be wearing a long sleeve shirt underneath this t-shirt that has poofy sleeves, so I'm just going to draw up on either side of that stick figure line we drew for her arm, and then I'm going to give her some gloves. So I just go around that circle that we drew and do a mitten shape. And to make it look like it's going around more, you'll do a half circle at where her wrist is, and then curve it around so it looks like a circle is going around her wrist. Now I'm kind of fixing the curl because you have to make it look like it's going behind her arm instead of in front of it, like we had it. Now I'm gonna just draw lines down from her sleeves to be her shirt. We won't worry about the other arm yet because we need her shirt to be there so we can place her hand over it. And I draw 2 swoopy lines, and that's gonna be her belt, and draw 2 straight lines down in the middle, and then we're gonna make a belt by making a box with a little C shape in the middle. Now working on that other arm, remember she's wearing a long sleeve shirt, so I'm just gonna follow where I had my stick figure line, and then because her hand is resting on her hip, her glove is gonna be kind of mushed up against her side, so you won't see all of her glove. You're just gonna see the wrist part and then draw a little circle where it's resting on her hip, and then a little smaller circle where her thumb is. And I know I had trouble figuring out where her thumb would sit if she were standing like this, so if you just want to do that on your hip and see where your thumb hits, that's where the circle is gonna go on her. Now I'm adding a skirt for her, and all you do is you just draw 2 lines out from your shirt that you drew, and then I did little half circles all the way across to the other side. Now drawing her legs, it's just 2 straight lines down on either side of that stick figure that we drew. And she's gonna be wearing tights too, so this isn't her skin. We're just drawing tights. And then her shoes are gonna be those elf shoes, but they're facing forward. So you just need to draw a kiss, like a Hershey kiss shape, and then add a little circle at the top for the bell. This is where I fixed the thumb again because I wasn't sure where I should put it. Now, anything you kind of don't like and you want to go back and fix, you can do that now. I'm adding eyelashes to the sides of her eyes, so you can add eyelashes too if you would like. I just draw little tiny triangles coming off from the sides of her eyes. And fixing her hair a little bit. And I add some lines in her ear to just make it more ear-like. And add a little ear hole too. And if your line's got a little light, what I'm doing here is just darkening them a little bit so I know which lines are just my practice sketch lines and which ones I actually want to trace with my marker later. And now for her skirt, I'm gonna make it candy cane-like and just draw lines up from where I did those little half circles at the bottom. And just draw a straight line up to her belt, and you can have a striped skirt too. Now I'm just erasing some lines that don't need to be there anymore. Alright, so we have our girl elf, and now we need to draw a boy elf. So starting with the face again, we'll just make that circle darker for his face. And then I'm gonna make his hair kind of spiky, so we'll do one spike off. Then one underneath that's a little bit bigger. These are all kind of triangular shaped, and you can add as many spikes as you want, but they just come off of his head. And then draw a half circle around that, kind of following where the circle of his face was. And then we're gonna draw a hat off of that. So draw some lines off of that big face circle. And we're gonna draw a swoopy triangle down from that. I had to reposition his hat because it wasn't sitting on his head right. And kind of fix that triangle, floppy triangle coming off of his head, because we're making a floppy hat. And a circle on the end for a bell or one of those little pom-poms. And then I'm gonna add some lines to make it striped, like a candy cane. And fixing his face a little bit to fit his hat. And draw his ear the same way you drew the female's ear. The girl elf, and because this ear is behind his hair, you only have to do the half circle up to where you put his spike. And his nose the same way, just a big U in the center of his face. And then his eyes, just some ovals with the circle in the center for the pupils. Like that. And then some eyebrows too. And I'm gonna draw his mouth a little bit to the side. So, matching with his eyes again, draw an imaginary line from his eye, and then do a half smile up towards his other eye. And then there'll be another little line underneath that for his bottom lip. And then his neck, just 2 lines down from his head. And I'm gonna do a V-neck for his shirt, and from there, his shoulders, looking at those lines that we drew for the stick figure. And he's gonna be wearing a t-shirt, so I'm gonna draw a line down and then a half circle and then a line back up and finish off that circle around his arm. Same thing for the other side. And this one's a little bit easier because his other arm is still facing down, so it can mirror the other side. And then we'll draw 2 lines down from the bottoms of his sleeves and kind of wing them out a little bit because he's wearing kind of a loose t-shirt. And then I'm gonna add a candy cane that's on his t-shirt. But you can draw whatever you want on his t-shirt. So I do a J shape and then add stripes, an upside down J. Now add a line across from the 2 lines that you just drew to finish his t-shirt. And I'm gonna make his pants really baggy, so it's just kind of some loose lines down from the t-shirt, following that stick figure legs we made. And then I'll draw kind of a horizontal line up to where the circles for his feet were. And just like the girl shoes, we're going to do some Hershey kisses where we have those circles. The circle at the top. Same for the other side. Another Hershey kiss. With the circle at the top. Now moving up to his right arm, we're just gonna follow that stick figure arm. He's also wearing a long sleeve shirt under his t-shirt. And then his gloved hand will be similar to the girl's. I mess up on it the first time, so don't follow me the first time. Just draw the wrist part of the glove, and then you'll draw a oval circle on the hip for the rest of his glove. And then the thumb kind of goes the same way that the girl has it. Now I fixed up some stuff here, so if you want to go back and fix anything, go ahead and do it now. I kind of fix my t-shirt so it kind of looks a little bit more baggy. Fix the glove a little bit more because the thumb seemed off to me. Alright, now onto his other arm. We'll do the same thing. Just follow where you have the stick figure line. Draw 2 lines next to that. And because he's leaning on a present, we're going to draw that line of where that present's going to be. And then draw his gloved hand. Kind of like a heart shape with the wrist. And then his thumb will kind of be over the line. Kind of looks like a boot, but with a thumb at the bottom instead of being flat. Now I go back and erase some of the stick figure lines. So if you want to erase your lines or fix anything, here's some time. Now, with this present, we're just going to bring the line farther across and then have another horizontal line at the bottom and just draw a line from the top line to the bottom line. So there's his box of a present he's leaning on. And I'm gonna have just one stripe down the middle. And you can decorate your present however you want to. Now I think the girl elf needs some presents around her too. So I'm gonna put a box next to her leg. Kinda looks like it's going behind her leg. And you'll wanna have it matched up with the bottom of her foot. And I'm gonna draw a bow on the top of this one. So I just start with a circle in the center, draw a diagonal line up, and a line, curvy line down, kind of like a half circle. And then because it's going behind her, I just have to draw that diagonal line up to her leg, and you won't see the rest of the bow because it's behind her leg. Now I'm gonna add a stack of presents, so this bottom present is gonna be a super long horizontal line behind her, and just with her legs, just draw an imaginary line across, and then keep drawing an actual line once you get past her legs, because these presents are gonna be behind her. I'm gonna make this present striped. So I just draw a couple more lines across. There's a stripe present, and on top of this one I'm going to draw a half circle and then bring it across. So it's kind of like an awkward circle shaped present. And I'm going to make zigzag stripes on this one. When you're drawing, just remember it's behind her, so parts of it you're not gonna see if her leg gets in front of it. And the top present is just gonna be a box at the top, remembering that it's hidden behind her. Alright, so we're done drawing our Santa's elves, and they're ready for Christmas with presents. I'm gonna go ahead and trace them with a black marker. And I just go around all the lines that we drew, making it look like a coloring page. And then I'm going to color it. I sped up this part so you weren't watching me for 20 minutes outline and color these elves. So you are welcome to color and trace along with me for the rest of the video. I plan on doing more how to draws, so if you have any suggestions, don't forget to leave them in the comments. And also remember to like and subscribe so that you can get notified right away if I do another how to draw, or I do plenty of other things on the channel. I'm just starting to do story time where I draw a picture and create a story based on that picture. So there's lots coming up on my channel. Don't forget to subscribe. Hope you have a very Merry Christmas and Happy New Year. Thanks guys. Bye.